Hi guys, if you're joining us on YouTube to watch this particular video, I will go over specifically how to enter a stop limit order on the ThinkorSwim platform. We just placed our orders, finished up our pre-flight checklist for the autopilot top 5 growth stocks service that we offer through active trend trading. And if you want to see how it works, watch how we put in this order. And if that interests you, hey, I'd be glad to introduce you to and actually allow you to save 75% on the autopilot top 5 growth stocks. And you get a weekly pre-flight checklist to show you exactly where I'm getting into this particular trade, based on the technical analysis I've done over the weekend. And you get that every Saturday so that you can basically place your orders and you're ready to go for the next week. So let's go ahead. Hey, good day, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn, the Active Trend Trader. I want to welcome you to today's session of the Autopilot Top 5 Growth Stocks Pre-Flight Checklist. This is for the week beginning 7 March 2021. A couple of things we're going to do in this particular video, so hang with it to the end. We're going to cover the 5 stocks that we have basically that floated to the surface for the top 5 growth stocks pre-flight checklist. But I'm also going to basically show how to place an order using the ThinkorSwim platform that will allow you to get a bounce type position rather than just fading into a level of support. As we saw last week, we faded into support, and one of the things that we did do last week, we issued cautions going into the beginning of the week saying, hey, let's go light. We went with half positions with really, really tight stops. So while the market is in correction, a rally attempt is underway. You'll see with almost every one of the stocks we're looking at today, they are basically showing a reversal candlestick called a hammer. And the other thing to look at for the charts of today, the stocks that floated to the surface this week were stocks where the moving averages are still stacked in a bullish stack. What does that mean? It means that the short-term moving averages are above the long-term moving average. The 8's above the 20, above the 34, above the 50, above the 200. And so that is considered, and there has not been a crossover yet. We are testing down at some really good Fibonacci. The 618 Fibonacci has been tested on several of these entities. However, we have put in a new lower low. So we'll be looking for some retesting into those new lower low and the wicks of those candlesticks. And so with that, what we want to do is, rather than try to guess where the support is, we'll identify where some good technical support is based on things like past support, Fibonacci's, moving averages. If prices then break through that, that triggers our order. But the order isn't placed until prices rebound and come back up through the area. And so we'll have a stop that says, let's say I drop to my trigger is $34.90. That triggers my order, but my order says I have a stop limit at $35 to $35.10, which would be my limit order. So I come down, I bounce off the $34.90, that triggers my trade, and then as prices rebound back up through the 35 level, then I should be filled somewhere between $35 and $35.10. And so what this does is we're buying on the rebound rather than attempting to fade into a particular level. Where do we want to use fades? Well, if we have a really good uptrend going, which we did have that going, we can look to fade into moving averages or fade into past support. At the same time, if the uptrend is kind of under pressure. It looks like it might be correcting. Sometimes those fade type moves, they get whacked because basically price action hits the price level, but it's going to dive deeper. And that's what we had happen last week, on the 5 positions that we entered into. Fortunately, we had done a couple of things to protect us, be very conservative. One, we had reduced our number of shares to no more than half. 2, we also had really tight stops. And so, again, I encourage you, if you're going to parallel trade with us, is use paper money until you get, use the paper account through ThinkorSwim until you get comfortable with this process. Okay, INMD. I'm going to basically, I'm going to flash this back over here just really quick. What I'll be looking at, guys, in order to put this order in, I need to collect, 1, this number here, $65. So I'm going to make a note of that. And that's where my prices have to drop at or below to trigger the rest of the order. 2, I need to know what my, well, that wasn't very good. Okay. So I need to know what my 65.27 through 65.32. And these are all, and then what is the rest of it I need to pick up? I need to know what my stop loss is, and then my 2 targets. My T1 is 69, my T2 is 82, and we'll build out the rest of that trade. Recognize I have earnings coming up on 5/5, BMO, no. There are no weekly options, and the monthly options have pretty good open interest on this. I want an alert going down below 65.36. And again, if you don't have the ThinkorSwim platform where you can set up this kind of trade, you want to basically put an alert there, dropping below $65. I don't know how your platform is set up, what it allows you to do. That's one of the things that you need to be educating yourself on for how to best utilize your trading platform. So with that information in hand, we can now, so this is where I will basically pull that over there. So let's go ahead and build the order out here. We basically have covered where it has to go. Let me cover where it has to go. Basically, I've got support down at the 62.20 level. I've got support down at the 62.20 level, which is right there, just slightly. I'm going 62.20. Let's see. I think it's that. Was that that? Yeah, there we go. Which happens to be at the just above the 50-day moving average. 50. Let me see what the 50-day is, right? Specifically, 50-day. Yes, 61.82. Somewhere around there. So that's where my support is. My resistance is up at 72.30 to 77.63. So 77.63 is back up these past highs. And then I think going back up through, this was a level where it broke out from before, and that's in the 72.30 range. No option, no weekly options. I want to alert going below 65.36. And now let's build the rest of the trade out, which is basically I will want to trigger into the trade at 65. Well, it will trigger the order at 65. That's what I'll be very clear about. It triggers the order at 65. Now, and then the order is placed, and it just sits there. If prices continue to fall away, it never triggers. It should not trigger the order. It should not trigger the order. Now, again, I encourage you, do this with the ThinkorSwim paper account first, or if you just have to do it with real money, do it with a very small number of shares. That's one of the things cool about not having a commission on your trades. You can basically do 10 shares. and see how it functions, and there's no commission. So anyway, there's a thought. But I encourage you to do it with, that's one thing with buying the stocks and ETFs, the paper money trading platform for ThinkorSwim works very much, I mean, it's almost identical to the live trading platform. So let's go ahead and build a trade on this, and I'll show you how that works. Let me grab it. Matter of fact, if you're really nice, I'll throw that out. No, you guys are really nice. I'll put this out also as a, I'll save it and send it along with the announcement of when this goes out. So let's roll this over here. So what do I want to do? I go back and I pull together the information I'm going to buy. Now, normally what I would do is, I will basically buy somewhere between, I will have 5 different stocks, and let's say I have $10,000 to invest. Well, I divide the $10,000 by 5, which means for every position I can have up to $2,000 invested in it. But again, this is going to be a half a position. So how much? $1,000. So on $1,000, that's what I'm going to go with, just to show you the exercise on this. So at $67.80, well, no, I want to trigger in at $65.27. In case we need it, there's a calculator. Okay, so we're going to trigger in at $65.27. So if I have $1,000, and I'm going to just do the division there. How does that work? I'm going to go 1,000 divided by 65.27. And that equals, as you get, 15.32 shares. Now, ThinkorSwim does not allow you, or TD Ameritrade does not allow you to do partial positions. So we're just going to make that 15. 15 shares of this is what we're going to buy. So now I go back up here to the buy, click on that, and then we'll build out the rest of this trade. Now this trade is going to be the first trade triggers all, because I want to also have in place when I do this, I want to have in my profit targets and my protection, my conditional stop loss. I want to have that all in place, and it will be totally hidden from the market maker. The market maker will not know this trade is here. So basically, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to call up I went to the little gear here right on the side. We'll drop this over here. Now we go through the mechanism, and I want to buy 100 shares. We got that. And I want it to be good till cancel. I got that. Now, right here is I want to basically say, what is my stop limit? Now, if you remember correctly, the low side, if I'm buying a stock or an ETF, the low side is the stop price, because it tells the order maker there, don't fill this position if the price is below 65.27. The limit order is, and oh, by the way, don't fill this order. I have this written down. There you go. Don't fill this order if the price is above this. Now, there will be times when this, if it's moving really, really, really fast, it can go through a nickel really fast. And it may or may not get triggered into that. But so the next piece I want to put into place is I want to bop down here. How long is this trade good for? It's good through the 12th. And what time? 1600. I put 1600 because that corresponds with 4 o'clock. Well, actually, this is Hawaii time. And so I know I'm, in good shape because, 4 o'clock in the afternoon Hawaii time is much, we know it's much past the close of the market on the East Coast. And then my symbol, what do I want it to do? What triggers the trade? And here's where I go, okay, dropping down below $65. I'll use the mark. Now I can use either less than or less than or equals. I'm going to go ahead and just use the less than or equal. That puts in the $65. One of the things to learn here on using the ThinkorSwim platform, if you put in a number, sometimes you got to tab out of it. Because if you don't tab out of it, it actually doesn't take inside the little box. So there we go. Now I have that in place. Now, what's the rest of the deal to do? Well, the rest of the deal to do is to, put in our sale orders. And so I reverse triggers all. I'm going to do an opposite order. I'm going to hit the gear again. I'm going to bring over my little box here. And you know what? I just see this. I made a mistake. Okay. And which is very easy to fix. Is basically, remember, I'm only going to do 15 shares. Aha. And you thought so 15. And what I'll do is I'll divide the 15. And on the first go, I'm going to sell, let's say, 8 shares. And do I put in anything here? No, I just put in market. Good till canceled. I cancel my stop, I cancel out my cancel date, because if I get filled, I want this order to stay in place until what? Until it fills either with a stop loss or a profit. Now, I always put the profit number on top. And what is my first T1? T1 is $69. Now, right below that, what I lay in is if it goes less than or equal to, where's my stop loss? Oh, $61.44. $61.44. Now, on this particular one, I will occasionally, let me go ahead and get rid of the rest of that. I will occasionally just make that if it's less than. And that's fine. Less than or equal to or less than works. Either one works. One of the things, if you put the less than, because that really is your stop, is that oftentimes there will be other people who may put their stop right at 61.44, and the market maker can have a pretty good idea where the stops are. He'll take it right down to, he or she will take it right down to that number, and if you're at or below or equal to, you get your stop hit. If I'm sitting with below, occasionally I don't get my stop hit. So now I can save that. And before we get too much further, let's go ahead and change. Show you where I want to change it. I want to change how many shares do I want to buy. Remember, 15. We're only going to do 15. There we go, 15. So if I sell 8 the first go around, that means I have 7 more to sell. And I just right click on the pink sell thing, duplicate that order. This pops up, go back to my little gear, pull the little gear over. And right now, the only thing that I need to change on this is my T2. My T2 is what? $82. Now I've entered 82. What do? I can hit enter or I can hit tab. And tab takes me out of the trade or out of the box. And so now I save this. And before I do anything else, so that this order should be ready to go. Oh, what did I forget to do? Drop the number of shares to 7. Now, before I place any orders, what I do is I hit the confirm send. And then I read down through it. I read down basically, I want to buy 15 shares of INMD at 65.32. That's my limit order. My stop is at 65.27. Good till cancel, but I will cancel this order on 312 at 1600. And what triggers this order is basically dropping below $65. I will then, if this first one is filled, I will sell 8 shares. If the price goes above 69, or if it drops below 61.44. I will sell 7 shares if the price goes above 82 or drops below 61.44, and both of those are GTC or good till canceled. So that basically, this order now is ready to go. Then I just hit send. Reminder that what we do is for trading purposes. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. And so as what I usually sign off with is, hey, before you trade, remember, do your pre-flight checklist. And again, have a great rest of your weekend. Aloha. God bless everybody. And we're ready to take off for next week. Aloha. Hey, I just want to thank you for watching this video on YouTube. I hope you found it instructional. Again, if you would like to become part of the active trend trading team, you can save 75% off what we would normally charge for the autopilot trading system top 5. And also, if you wanted to combine it, because we also have an autopilot trading system for leveraged ETFs. I have basically a small stable of leveraged ETFs, the 3 index funds with their leveraged entities, and then 4 sector funds that we just pay particular attention to those, and then the returns on those are really excellent and spectacular. And so if you want to know more about that, there's a link down in the comment section of the YouTube channel, or you can just go over, if you're watching this on Instagram, you can go find it on my link tree by just checking out my bio. And I hope you like this approach. As an old naval aviator, it is, when we would launch a rocket, we'd love to launch a rocket and just let it be fire and forget. And it would be on its way to its target. So this pre-flight checklist allows us to, in a lot of cases, send out our orders, fire and forget them, because we know we have protection. Well, basically, we've addressed the 6 columns of active trend trading, telling you what what we're gonna trade, knowing what to trade, knowing when and where to get in, knowing when and where to get out, what strategy we're going to use, what to expect, and of course, guidance from a mentor, which is a really strong way to build a very successful trading plan and build wealth for you and your family. So until next time, aloha. God bless everybody.
Hey everybody, this is Dennis. I'd like to encourage you to go on over to Active Trend Trading's website. You can see it here, activetrendtrading.com/autopilot-trading/. If you want to know more about either of the autopilot trading systems, or you can check out the combo and save even more. Aloha, God bless everybody.